Member for Boundary Similkameen.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I rise today as the MLA for Boundary Similkameen, but also as someone who's lived in rural British Columbia my entire life. No matter where I've lived in this beautiful province, the forestry sector has always been the strongest cultural and economic cornerstone of our province. Forestry provides good, family-supporting jobs in every corner of BC. It is our mill workers, our loggers, our fallers, the truck drivers, and the silviculture crews planting millions of seedlings each year. But for those of us in rural BC, we also know that forestry reaches far beyond the bush. Every day, small businesses, repair shops, welders, tire suppliers, fuel distributors, equipment dealers, and grocery stores keep our industry moving. Behind them stands an entire network of professionals: foresters, engineers, surveyors, road builders, biologists, and resource specialists to ensure our forests are managed responsibly and sustainably. These are the people who take pride in doing things the right way, the BC way, balancing both the environmental and our economy. When forestry is strong, that strength ripples through our communities. Our schools stay open. Our restaurants and rec centers are busy. Our fire departments have volunteers, and our youth have coaches. Forestry families are the backbone of rural British Columbia, and far too many of them are worried today about their future. Speaker, the reality facing this foundational industry is stark. This sector that helped build this province is now on its knees. We are seeing mills continue to close. Harvest levels continue to drop. Generational businesses are folding. Communities that once hummed with activity are now holding town halls to talk about survival. And yet, what we hear from this government is excuse after excuse. Global markets, Trump, climate change, wildfires, previous governments. 10 years and the talking points don't change, and all point to something outside this government's control. But the truth is, many of the barriers holding the forestry sector back in British Columbia are within this government's control. Permitting delays, overlapping land use strategies that contradict each other, unclear tenure direction, uncertainty in fibre supply, and a regulatory environment so unpredictable that contractors can't plan their next month, let alone the next 5 years. Speaker, industry has been crystal clear about what needs to change. They're asking for timely, predictable permitting with firm timelines and a one-window system so companies aren't stuck navigating multiple overlapping processes. They need certainty in timber supply, stable annual allowable cut decisions, clear fibre forecasts, and timely access to salvage and wildfire-impacted wood. They need alignment of provincial strategies so old growth, caribou, watershed, and biodiversity work together instead of pulling in opposite directions. And they need First Nations, industry, and communities working at the same table. They are asking government to support contractors with fair and sustainable rates, fuel indexing, recognition of equipment depreciation, and enforcement of prompt payment so small operators can survive. They want real support for value-added manufacturing, including incentives for BC wood in public procurement, and help for companies looking to modernize and reinvest. And they want government to rebuild our global market presence by restoring trade offices and supporting diversification so we are not relying on a single market to keep our lights on. None of these are unreasonable requests. These are all practical, actionable, common sense steps that any government serious about forestry would have implemented years ago. And every single one of these actions is within this government's control. What we need now is a government that is willing to fight for this province, a government that removes its own roadblocks instead of creating new ones, a government that stops hiding behind excuses and starts delivering real solutions. Speaker, I want to end with this. I am profoundly proud of the people who make up British Columbia's forestry sector. Through shifting market, fires, floods, and even the barriers created by their own government, they've never given up on this province. And I want them to know that I haven't given up on them. The Conservative Party of British Columbia will continue to fight for a sustainable, competitive, and resilient forest industry that keeps people working and keeps our rural communities strong. My hope is that this government will choose to join us, and they need to start today. They need to take every action within their control
Thank you,
to
member.
support our sector, and BC forestry workers deserve nothing less.